Hello, loves. This is Michelle Morrell coming to you from Royal Day Events. Today, I'm just stopping by to just talk with you about processing your florals properly. So, there are many ways to process your different florals. There's a proper way for various florals. Like your hydrangea, there's something different and wonderful that I do to those to keep them perky and lovely and let them have live their best life, their best floral life. But anyway, today we're going to be focused on roses. Now, to be fair, I will not be starting from the very beginning of what we have already done here. We started processing on Tuesday, actually, and today is Friday. So we're getting ready for an event that's on tomorrow. So I brought a few of the roses here so that I can share them with you and talk about them. But when you get your roses, one of the things that they're going to come, they're going to come, and the heads are going to be in portion of the stem. They're going to be wrapped in this protective cardboard. And then sometimes my source, they will have a plastic sleeve on them as well. So they will come packaged like this with the heads covered and protected. So, and then inside of this lovely box here, they will be protected even more, the different layers of flowers. The flowers won't be laying head to head. And so then there's this cardboard, and then there's this tissue paper here. And so the cardboard is typically inside here. And again, guys, I wish I would have done this and thought about doing it for you before I had unwrapped them. But in between, you will have the rose. These will be in between the rose heads so that they'll be protected from rubbing and bruising against each other. So that's that. They'll come wrapped in this lovely sleeve, protective cardboard. They'll be separated. The rose will be separated in between. And then sometimes, again, they come in this sleeve. And sometimes when you get your flowers from the grocery store or something like that, or the market, maybe they'll come just like this, and they will not come like this. But this is how I'm getting them from the wholesaler and the farm, or wherever I choose to get them for a particular event. So that's protective cover. So when you first get them, this lovely protective cover, we should leave that on for the first 4 hours. So when you first get them, you want to immediately hydrate your flowers, but you don't want to remove this, okay? You don't want to remove any of the wrapping, any of the protective pieces. You want to take those, you want to give your flowers in that bunch a fresh cut. If you don't have a big chopper like we do, then you can take your clippers, whatever clippers that you have, and you can just clip each one of them, okay? Give them a nice clip, and we like to clip them on an angle so that the flower is actually getting the water is able to flow up the stem properly. There's a different thought chain behind that, different school of thought on that from some different flower designers and florists, where some say you don't need to cut it on an angle cut. But my teaching was to learn to cut it on an angle, and then that way the water is able to flow up nicely and feed that nice head. Okay, so again, we do not want to remove the protective cardboard. We're going to leave that on and in place, but we're going to have some nice buckets ready for our florals when they come. And so you can choose to use whatever bucket you use. I like to use like a food safe grade bucket. You can get them from Home Depot. You can get these lovely buckets like I have. I like them to be pretty. I like everything to be pretty, even when I'm working. But sometimes we have too many and I just don't have enough pretty buckets, and we will use the just painter's buckets or whatever buckets that we have. And when it comes to the buckets, we want to make sure that they're clean. And so there are different cleaners out there that will help you in cleaning your buckets. But you want to make sure we have nice brushes. You can get brushes, and you want to clean them and scrub them and make sure that it's bacteria free, that it's totally clean, not just a rinse, because a rinse is not going to get all the residue from your previous floral storage in the buckets. So you want to make sure that you get a nice brush, nice rag, clean sponge, whatever it is, a brand new sponge, because sponges hold bacteria. So a nice brush, and we brush them and we clean them. We use a little bleach and detergent to clean ours. There is a cleaning solution that is recommended. You can take a look on Google or at your local floral store and see if they have a cleaner that you would prefer to use. But we use a little bleach, and we use a little detergent just to clean them. And we clean them, and we clean them, we scrub them really well, and we rinse them really well, and then we rinse them really well, and then we rinse them really well, because we want our buckets to be in nice clean buckets. And so I like to equate it to eating off of a clean plate. Now, we don't want to just grab a plate that has residue left on it to eat it. We'll become ill. And the same concept is for your florals. So if you do not give them a clean place to thrive and live and to feed upon, because they're drinking, they're becoming hydrated, you're feeding them with food, but you do not want them to be in a dirty plate. Like, we don't want to eat off of a dirty plate. No. So guys, that's a very crucial and important portion. So we have two important things so far. Keep the sleeves on, the protective sleeves, when you get your flowers, and then you want to give them a nice clip, and then you want to place them in clean buckets. But your clean buckets are going to have water and food in them. Yes, so we do put water in ours. Now, here are two schools of thought, and you can just work and decide which one works best for you. So there's a school of thought that the bucket should be filled with cool water, cool to room temperature water, before you place your florals in there. So for us, we take our flowers and we make water as hot as we can possibly get it. Well, not to the point where it would cook the stem and make a faux asparagus out of the stem, but we do make our water pretty warm. And the thought behind that is that once that floral has a nice clean clip and you've placed it in the water with that wonderful food, and then it's going to just shoot up. What does heat do? Heat rises, right? So that's the thought process behind the florals being in hot water. Heat rises, and so that moisture is going to shoot up quickly to the head, and it's going to hydrate that flower much quicker than it will with cool room temperature water. Okay? So that's what we do here at Royal Day. So we're going to get our flowers. They're going to be in this protective sleeve. We're going to give them a nice slip. We're going to leave it on, and we're going to give them a nice snip. We're going to put our flower food in our warm to nicely hot water, and we're going to have the food in it. Measure appropriately. Read the instructions, please, on whatever floral food that you decide to use. Follow the manufacturer's thought so that you don't overfeed them, and use the proper amount of water to flower food ratio. So you want to do that. Have that water nice in a clean bucket, because we don't want to eat off of a dirty plate, and our flowers don't want to drink out of a dirty bucket. So, and it's going to make them healthier, and the bacteria, there will be no bacteria, making a bacteria-free zone. So we have that. Okay, we're placing those flowers after that nice snip, the first snip. We're going to place them in those clean buckets. They're going to drink and hydrate, and we're going to do that for at least 4 hours. Some recommend 2 hours. We recommend 4 hours, and it depends on how long that trip was and how thirsty they are. But we're going to leave this on for the first 4 hours. We're going to have them in that nice water, and they're going to be drinking, and becoming hydrated, and that water is going to rise and feed that head. Okay, so that's what we're going to do at the beginning. And then so after that 4 hours or so has passed, and you're ready to process. So the rose comes with lots of leaves and stems and all of that, but we trimmed ours off already. I could have brought you the box or can that they're in, but I didn't do that. So, but most of us have seen a rose. And so I'm just going to pick one here, and just I'm going to take this one here. Okay, we're going to take this rose here. So to pick your rose, you're going to make sure that they're nice. These are nice and firm. We've had them since Tuesday, but they're still nice and firm. And then I'm letting them get room temperature so that they can be more pliable when we begin to flex them and design with them. So, but anyway, the stem is going to be full of leaves and full of thorns, and you need to be very careful. Okay, be very, very careful. And so what we would do is use a stripper to remove the leaves and to soften the thorns. And the strippers, these are the ones that we use. These are in different colors. My fave, fuchsia, hot pink, pink family, whatever. I love pink, can you tell? So here's a yellow, so if that's your favorite, sunshine, my only sunshine, then use yellow. And then there's red, red hot, just like our roses. And then this one I think is like a little coral perhaps. Peachy. So yeah, that. And then my daughter's favorite, it would be blue. Okay, there's blue, and so they come in various colors, and this is not the only type of floral stripper that you can get and find. I have some others around here which I do not use. When I first started out, I had all sorts of just trying everything, so you find out what works for you. You can Google it, Amazon it, whatever you need to do to find the one that works for you. But these work for us. We're pretty happy with them, and we just hold them in our hands. And of course, we're pretending that this is full of leaves because I've already gotten rid of those. So we're going to just gently grab around and we're going to pull it down. And those leaves will come tumbling down. And that's what that happens. And then we'll do that, okay? And so then you have those thorns. Okay, we still have some thorns here in place. But the difference here is that they're not going to cause us great pain. And that's because we've taken the stripper and it's just softened that tip just a little bit, okay? It's softened the tip just a little bit. Now, we don't necessarily take off all of our thorns or our thorns at all. We just kind of try to soften that. See, I can still touch that and it's not causing me pain, but it's keeping me from becoming injured. And so that's the point that we're trying to do here. Now, when you take off the thorn, like with your clippers or a knife or what have you, it can actually cause your water to become contaminated and cause a more breathing space. Think of like an open wound on your skin, and so it's a breeding place for bacteria to grow, and a breeding place for infection and things like that. And so that's the same thing, thinking about just causing injury to your rose, and then it's a breeding space for your vessel, the vessel or the vase that you're going to put your flowers in. It's going to cause like a bacteria to grow, and that's not going to be healthy for your flower and the flower life. So if you want to extend the flower life, leave the thorns in place, but gently soften them. Just soften them, okay? Just soften that tip so that you don't want to become injured. And so that brings me to one thing that I do want to share with you. This is something that I use in here. So really, processing flowers are beautiful. When we finish designing, it's all beautiful. It's beauty, beauty, beauty. But it's work. It's a workout. And so hence, I use these workout gloves, okay? They help you to grip and etc. when you're working those heavy weights and whatnot. But floral work is heavy work, okay? So here, I use these and the fingers are exposed and I like them. Some people use floral gloves or gardening gloves or what have you, but I like to use these. And plus I feel like I'm cute with these on. So let's see. So I put these on and then, it helps my hands. It saves my hands a bit. Now, I'm not touching the head of the flower or anything like that. But if I just happen to pick up, just a little insulated here. If I just happen to pick up my roses, then I'm not injuring myself here. I'm not injuring myself. And then if we want to flex this rose, and how you just take and you run it through your hands, to twist it. And so if I'm doing, I can do this better if I were to stand up. So we want to flex this rose and just kind of twirl it here just to open it up a bit more. You see that? So we did open it up a bit more. I would help this one out just a teeny bit more, but when I flex the rose, we're gently holding it and we're twisting it. Ooh, can I get a good grip? There we go. So I want you to kind of see that. So you see what's happening? It opened up. When we first pulled this rose out, it wasn't as open as it is, but we would go ahead and we would help that one open a little bit more. So the idea is to have a fully bloomed look with our roses. So again, these beauties right here, go get you a pair, go get you a few pair in your favorite color. Again, remember, my favorite any shade of pink, any shade of fuchsia, hot pink, light pink, soft pink, beauty pink. I love it. So anyway, so there we go. We have our rose. It's clean. We used the stripper and we had a fresh cut. You can see here, we already had a cut here. And just bring that in there. We had a nice angle cut there. And these were already put into water. So now we're going to go to what we do after we clip them. Because every time I remove roses from a water source, I will give them a fresh clip. They heal quickly. They will close up, and it's like a protective mechanism. They will seal quickly. So with a rose, or with any flower that I'm working with, and again, you see that thorn is still there, and it's not causing me any pain because I softened. I thought I'd let you see that. Yep, still there, but not causing me pain because I've softened the head. I've taken the sting out of the stem. So here we have the clippers. Get you a favorite pair. These, they cut like butter, and I can't really pronounce the name. I think it's Saccharogen. I have to, I'm gonna practice that one. But anyway, all I know is pink, and I love them. There's my pink again, guys. I love them. These are the best. There are all sorts of clippers out there. I actually have two pair. I wish I could pronounce, but they're the Japanese kind. I think if you just Google Japanese, and I may come back and just tell you how to pronounce that at some other point. But these are very lightweight, and they cut like butter. You know, look at that. Did you see that? A nice crisp cut. Okay, nice and crisp. And these as well. These are my favorite. Listen to that. Yes, isn't that wonderful? And look, there's a nice clean cut for you. Okay, you see that? So you do want to make sure that your clippers are sharp enough, because if they're dull, they're just going to smash down. So but anyway, I just cut this, and I do want to go, before I keep moving, I wanted to give this rose just a shot, a nice shot. Of course, you know, communion wine, of course. Now this is a hydrating solution. This is an extra step that we take here at Royal Day. We use the hydrating solution. So once we give it a fresh clip, and you can see I just have a little bit in here, but we don't need a lot. And it's a quick little dip. Okay, and that's our hydrating solution, and then we place it right back in its water source for now. Okay, and that's what I'm going to do, put it back in the water source for now. Okay, and we'll come back and talk about more of the roses, but I do want to talk to you about your clippers. You want to make sure that they are sharp, that you have a good one, and sometimes you can get an inexpensive pair that can last you maybe for a little while. But anytime you're having difficulty and you have to apply too much pressure, you're literally just smashing the stem. And so then the stem cannot get as much hydration as it needs to get because you've smashed it together. Okay, and so that's like cutting bread. When you're cutting bread, you want to just move the knife. And the knife should be sharp enough. And you're not smashing the bread. You're just kind of moving back and forth. And because that knife is so sharp, it's going to give you a nice clean cut, nice piece of bread, not smashed, okay? When you're using a dull knife, you might have to give it a little more pressure, and then there it's smashing. So anyway, as you can see, I must be a foodie. I equate everything to food. Clean plate, like clean buckets. Cutting bread, like cutting your stems and using sharp tools. Okay, these are my sharp tools. They're a Japanese brand. Saccharogen, I think, and I should have practiced this word before I came on. Guys, forgive me for that, but these are it. I love them. You can get your color, whatever color is your color, but this is my color, pinky. So that's that, and here's the stem again. Just want you to see that, and nice clean cut. Now, with that being said, we don't want a nice clean cut on our fingers, our hands, so you do have to be very careful. And the packaging, it doesn't come in English, but they have pictures that tell you Watch your fingers because you can become injured with these, and we want to be very careful with that. And these, the same thing with these. They look harmless, don't they? They just look cute, but they're very dangerous and effective. Did you see that? Nice, clean cut, no smashes, nice and clean. So guys, now let's talk about the shot glass, okay? The shot glass, I get my little shot glass. You can use any clean container to put in your hydrating fluid. So when I'm doing single stems, I'll just use a shot glass. I can even get 2 in here at a time, maybe even 3. Sometimes I'll go a little bit larger, and I'll fill it up if I'm doing I'm doing a big chunk and clip and I got a lot of florals I got to get through. I give them a nice big chop and then dump them. Dip. You can use the biggest container that you possibly have, but again, make sure it's clean. And then if you've used some fluid, some hydration fluid, and you have some left, then toss it out, guys, because you've been contaminating it. Okay, it's like dipping your fork back in there, and there's food in there, and it's going to grow. Bacteria is going to grow, and you don't want to re-dip your clean flowers the next day in something that's left over. Okay, want to go ahead and toss that out, clean it up, clean up your shot glass with your holy wine. Of course, that's what we're using it for. We're using it for our hydration little container, but they just came from the Dollar Tree, so it doesn't have to be expensive, or you can get them from someplace else. And if people decide they want to give you a gift, tell them you collect shot glasses. You can get all kinds with with your special team on there. If your team is the Patriots, or if your team is the Redskins or the Dallas Cowboys, whatever it might be, whatever your team might be, you can get little shot glasses, and you can just have fun on, Monday night football, Sunday football, and hydrate your flowers, okay? So with a hydrating solution, that's what we do. Sometimes, guys, in your flowers, in your bundle, or your can you help me out, guys? In your bunch of flowers, there may be some damage. So you always want to make sure that you order just a little bit more than, maybe 20% more than you actually need, because some will just, come and they get damaged in shipping as much as they try to protect them. And it happens. It's part of the business. Okay. So with this one broke off, and so we still gave it a nice clip. We gave it a nice dip in our hydrating solution, and we kept it because we are going to be doing some low florals, and so we can still use that, right? Still very beautiful. Still beautiful. Broken, but beautiful. There's beauty in brokenness, okay? Even in this rose, it's still a rose, even though it's broken. That's Aretha Franklin, by the way. Still a rose, okay? I'm not a singer, so I'm going to help you out, and I'm not going to sing that one, okay? So now, let's talk about, I think I'll just go ahead and use this one here that we have. So when your flowers come, they're going to come, and then some of your flowers, this one's deep, I have it in a little small bowl. It's another one it broke. So we lost 3 soldiers, girls. So lost 3 of these girls here. So you're going to have petals, and they're called guard petals. So when you begin to design, some people leave them on, and I think that's fine if that's what you like in your style. And when you're flexing, it may be something that you want to do, but you can just take that off. Did you hear that quick snip? You can save them for rose petals, and just put them in a bag and save them for petals if you want to have some petals thrown anyway. I do save them for when we need rose petals. So here you go. Especially if you're going to be tossing them on the floor, you can mix them in. And who's on the floor to see if it's a guard petal or not? Okay, so here we've removed the guard petals on this one here. Sometimes a little bit, and I'm a little anal, so I'm going to get the extra little piece off of there. So those are the guard petals. You can remove those. It's nothing wrong with the flower. It's not damaged. So just know that it's a guard petal. You can remove it, okay? How beautiful. So let's see, guys, is there anything else that I do want to share with you? We talked about when we get our flowers, that they're going to come in this protective cardboard sleeve. We want to make sure that whoever our source is, that they respect the cool chain, and that our flowers are kept cool while they're in transit to us, and that then it be the most healthiest, that they can possibly be for us. We talked about leaving that protective sleeve on again, and I love it. And guess what color it is, guys? Yes, it's pink. It just happens to be pink. You can't order and say, I want pink sleeves or anything like that. This one just happens to be pink and made me extra happy. But so we're going to leave that on for 4 hours. We're going to have clean buckets. You can clean them with your bleach solution or a store-bought formulated solution, which is recommended. And then you're going to clean off the leaves with your different floral strippers. There are different ones out there, and I'm so sorry, guys, but I just could not locate them, and maybe I threw them in the trash because they weren't quite the ones that worked for me. So as you go through business, you'll be able to see what works for you and what you like. So for me, this one works just fine for us. We talked about floral design being a workout. Hello. And these protect my hands when I'm flexing from the thorns, or when I'm just picking up a large grouping of them. So you do want to be careful when you do that. We talked about having sharp snipping tools, and then Sakawajian, I think it is, but just look up Japanese floral clippers, and that should help you out, guys. I'm so sorry that I was just not ready for you to tell you Sakawajian. Okay, Sakawajian, I don't know, but I love them. Absolute love. I love both of them. They're lightweight. I have small hands, so these work for me. And you can find the ones that work for you too. So let's see, guys. I'm going to say that we talked about our hydrating solution, which you can find at your floral wholesaler. You can Google it online or whatever you need to do. We're getting ready to, and let me talk to you about flexing. So I did take a rose a little earlier, and come on, baby. Let me just take that out. I think I intertwined these and weave them in so good that they're not coming out. So we're letting these become a little coming to room temperature so that we can design better with them. So, and they're still nice and firm, the heads are, and that's how you want to tell that your flower is nice and fresh. So one of the things that we do when we're flexing, just kind of, let me find a good space, and we just twist it, baby. And look how that opened up some more. Look at that. So it wasn't as wide. Isn't that beautiful? Yes. So it wasn't as open before. This one still has some guard petals. We'll remove those. But we're going to talk about flexing them even more. So we gave them a nice twist. And so when they get to be a little more room temperature, and we do that little process, and you see I have my gloves, and the thorns that were still there, they're not hurting my hands. And actually, when you're doing that a lot, that's gonna cause soreness in your hands. Your hands are gonna become exhausted or tired, and sore. So sore, exhausted, and so you want to preserve your hands as much as you can. And so these help me to do that. So, but we would flex that rose just a little bit more. And I'm going to take the guard petals off of this one. And remember, this can be your flower petal that you keep and use. Okay. So let me just come over a little bit more. So here we go. I'm going to take the guard petals off. And you can leave them on depending upon the look you want and whatnot. But, so, this one, it's lost its stem. So we're going to take this one and we're going to flex it a little. And so what I would do is go right on the inside of here. You want to try not to touch it as much as the head is. We'll touch it as little as possible because they become bruised. Okay, they're gentle creatures. They become bruised. So I go right on here on the inside and I will pull that back just to flex it a little bit. And the reason I can do this so easily, look at that, is because this one has been sitting out a little bit. Remember I told you the stems lost their heads. And so the idea is to give us a nice open rose. So I'm just going to flex that, you see? Okay. And then we're going to flex here. Flexing that a little bit. Oh, it's coming together, guys. It's looking beautiful. So this is something we do here at the Royal Day. Okay. We're flexing our petals. Not our muscles. We're flexing our petals. Not our muscles, but our petals. Look at that already. Starting to look some kind of good. Hello. Love's in the air. Love is in the air. Don't you just love this? We're flexing. We're flexing. Sorry guys, I exposed you to that singing. I subjected you to that singing. Okay. And you can flex this as much or as little as you like. Look at that. And I'm not finished. I didn't finish flexing it. So you can, like I said, you can flex as many petals as you like. And there's another way to do it where you just take the whole thing and you just kind of squeeze, and you hear the petals coming apart and breaking apart. But now that's a flex rose, guys. Okay? This little petal doesn't want to play. You don't want to play? Come on. Sometimes you're breaking them a little bit, but you want to make sure it's close to your event as possible, because again, like I said, the bruising will start to appear, and you don't want that. You want your flowers to look as fresh and lovely as possible. Come on, baby. And this is another thing. Spread a little love. Give a little blow. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that lovely? Absolutely. Absolutely lovely. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, but anyway, loves, that's a quick flex. Of course, we take a little more time. We're getting ready for our products. And then when you stick it in your vase, let's just see. We have one over here. Just give it a little. Just a little, just a little, just a little, just a little. Well, just a little. Imagine that. Ah, how beautiful is that? Okay, just imagine. So incomplete, not ready, but take your vessel and you put your chicken wire or your Oasis or whatever your form of stability is, your tape, and then you begin to design. How lovely is that, guys? I hope this video has been helpful to you, and I look forward to coming back and chatting with you about some of our many, many, many tricks of the trade. Okay? Talk to you soon and have a royal day.